what's up? It's Ashley here. I'm going to be doing a story time. Well, kind of a story time. It's kind of a long one, so bear with me. But it's about my time in Greece, and some exciting things happened. I found some really cool stuff while digging on an excavation. I also got yelled at on Nude beach, so it was a pretty cool experience all together, and so I just wanted to tell you guys about it. So I was digging at the Agora excavations in Athens, Greece, Monday through Friday for 8 weeks straight. I actually just got back last week. I was digging 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. in 104-degree weather. It was pretty spicy out there. I was sweating to death all the time. I've never sweat that much in my entire life, I'll be honest. It was a lot of work, and I'm not used to that. So, laborious work is not my thing. So it was an experience. I'm really glad I went, though. It was really great, and I learned a lot, and I met some great people, and had a lot of food. And Greek food's really good, so that's great. The food was probably the best part, honestly. I will include some pictures of the food I ate. Yes! It was great. I tried a lot of seafood that I've never had before, like octopus, which was a weird texture, and I'm a texture person, so it was really good, but I only tried it once because it was an actual tentacle that they had put on my plate, that they had fried. I could see the suction cups on the bottom. It was interesting to try it. This is my first time out of the country. Technically, part of my family lives in Arizona, and I went to visit them with my mom and my sister one summer, and we went to Mexico for 3 hours and had lunch and then came back. So I don't really know that's technically out of the country, but I didn't really experience a lot of things, so I don't know. I consider this really my first time out of the country. We had a 3-day weekend where we got to have the Monday off, so me and a couple of my friends on the excavation decided we were going to go to one of the Greek islands. We decided to go to Naxos, which, if you've never been and are able to, I fully 100% recommend Naxos to anybody. It's not touristy, it's not really crowded, it's a small island, it's beautiful. They still have the white buildings with the blue tops, just like Santorini and Mykonos and all of those other popular islands, but Naxos was so beautiful. Here are some pictures from the island. The water was crystal clear blue, and it was so nice compared to the heat of Athens because it still had the heat, but it was windy, so it was a really nice temperature all the time. We stayed in an Airbnb. The host was so great. Shout out to Kostas, my man. He's great. You know, no spots, but if you go to Naxos and need an Airbnb, Kostas is the way to go. He was so nice and great. He was just really great, and he showed us a lot of places and a lot of really nice restaurants and bars to go to. This is now sounding like a, plug for him, but it was really great. I totally recommend it. While we were on Naxos, though, we did go to the beach. And we went to the beach not knowing that this was a nudist beach, which took me for a surprise. It was so crazy. So we took a bus to get there, and we didn't know when we got off the bus that it was a nudist beach at all. You couldn't tell. There was just people and chairs and umbrellas and beach towels and kids running around. It looked like a normal beach. And I was in Europe, so I should have expected that, it would be a, nudist beach. I don't know what I was expecting. Honestly, I don't know why I assumed that it wasn't. But we got off the bus, and we walked to the beach. It was, a 10-minute walk from the bus stop. And we sat down and we got really comfortable. We bought some beach chairs. We looked around and I was
like, wait a second.
At first I didn't really notice because, I try not to like stare at people, but I'm a pretty observant. So I looked around and I looked at my friend Sammy and I was like, where are we? And she was like, oh, we're just at one of the, popular beaches at Naxos. I looked it up on the internet. People said it was really nice and the water was really great. And I was like, yeah, but look around. And there were literally
5 naked old men sitting in front of us.
And I was like,
what? Why?
Then I was thinking, why did we choose to sit here? Because, everything was showing. All the parts, everything. So I was like,
this is fun. This is great. Okay.
So, we decided to stay because it's an experience and, well, it was a nude beach. So, we were just like sitting there. Most of the naked people were actually like older people. Most of the younger people, like teenagers and people our age, were like fully dressed and they were all like great and hot and wonderful and tan, because it's Greece. But most of the nudist people were older people, so, it was pretty fun. While we were there, the lady next to us got really mad at us and yelled at us. So, what happened was we were just talking and messing around and laughing and having a lot of fun. Keep in mind, there are like probably 500 other people around us, kids, teenagers, everybody yelling, drunk people, everybody's being loud. So the lady next to us goes,
excuse me, you're being annoying and I'm here to relax. Can you be quiet?
And all three of us were just like super silent and we were like, okay, so this lady was rude. And so we were like, we're just gonna ignore her. And then my friend continued to talk and she was like, and the lady looked at us and was like,
I said I'm here to relax.
And after that, we were quiet for like 5 minutes, and then we decided to go in the water to get away from the lady. Funny enough, for the next 30 minutes, her husband didn't talk to her. They didn't interact, so I don't know if she was just in a bad mood because they were having some issues or what, but they ended up leaving so we could go back to our seats and, have fun. We got back to Athens and had the work week as normal, but on Tuesday, we decided to hike up the Areopagus, which is the big hill across from the Acropolis, if you know what I'm talking about, and watch the sunrise. Since we have to be at work at 7 a.m. and it's a 30-minute walk from our apartments we were staying at, we had to get up at like 5:15 and meet to go to the Areopagus to be able to hit the sunrise and then go to work straight after. So that was insane. It was like kind of a hike. It was actually a hike. It took 15 minutes extra than the walk to work normally would. Plus it was still dark outside and it was chilly a little bit, which was really surprising. But then after we started, the incline, it got sweaty real fast. And yeah, it was pretty cool. We got to the top, and the sunrise was pretty, it was a sunrise. It was the most beautiful sunrise I've ever seen. Keep in mind, I've only ever seen it from Virginia and now Athens, so Athens wins. I will say that walking in Athens when there's not a lot of cars around and not a lot of people was amazing. Even though it was dark, it was still a beautiful city and kind of scary, but, that's a city for you. A couple weeks after that, we decided to climb Mount Lykavitos, which is a mountain. Some people say it's a hill. It's a steep incline is what it is. And we decided to climb it to see the sunset. So we climbed it, and we decided, so one of my friends said she knew the way up because she's been there before, and we were like, all right, cool, we'll follow you. So we followed her, and she took us to some path in the woods. We had to climb over bushes, and I got scratched, and climb through trees and duck under branches, and it was crazy and nature. And it was really fun-ish. Wasn't really fun. I'm lying. It was not fun. And when we got there, it was super crowded because on the top of the mountain is a church, and there was actually a wedding that day. So it was so crowded. The bells were chiming really loudly in my ears, and I couldn't even really see the sunset. One of my friends had to stand up on a little bench to get pictures of the sunset, and finally people moved out of the way so I could see it, and I was like, wow, this looks exactly like the sunrise I saw. And so yes, the pictures I took all look the same, but it was an experience, and I had a lot of fun with my friends. I keep lying to myself. It was not a lot of fun. I need to stop lying to myself. It was a time. That's what I'll say about it. It was a time. There are pictures of the sunrise and the sunset in Athens, and you will see they look very similar. And I climbed up Mount Lykavitos for no reason. But hey, it was a time.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset.
We also have an end of the season party, kind of a scheduled thing. It's by the people who dig and not like the up high people. So it's like unofficial but official. It's called Rock Party. So you dress up in costumes that are related to rocks or hard rock or alternative rock, like music or actual rocks. So me, being the creative costume maker I am, dressed up as the boulder from Shrek. Here's a photo of it.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder.
It was pretty great. I don't look like a boulder, so I was really happy with my costume. People thought it was really creative, and they all laughed at me. You know, here for the laughs, though. So it was great. Also, it was the second time I dressed up as a Shrek character, and as we know, Shrek is my favorite movie of all time. So that's okay with me. I was happy about it. Another thing that happened in Greece was that so there's a Hard Rock Cafe in Athens, obviously, because it's a big city, and Hard Rock is in all big cities. We passed the host outside of Hard Rock every day going home from work. And he kind of got to know our faces, and he always would be like, come on, come in. And we're like, no, we're gross. We don't want to go. We're sweaty and have dirt all over us. And some of us have human remains, on us from tombs. And it was just, not a time to go to Hard Rock Cafe. Not feeling it. So one day on the weekend, we went up there because it was like by a whole bunch of tourist shops and restaurants. So we went up there and we were like, fine, we'll go to Hard Rock. We want some good food. So we went, me and a couple of my friends, and we went and we ate, and it was good. Hard Rock food reminded me of America. It was really nice. And then we left, and on the way out, he was like, let's take a selfie. And we were like, whatever, we see this guy every day, why not? So he grabbed my phone, and he took a selfie, and then he proceeded to, go through my settings to turn on the Hard Rock Wi-Fi, and which was embarrassing in itself because he, looked at what I was on, and I was on Pokemon Go, and he was like, you still play? And I was like, you don't? Yes, I still play. Is that bad? And he laughed at me, and I was embarrassed. But then he, kept looking through my stuff and, joined the Wi-Fi and then uploaded the picture to the Hard Rock Facebook page and liked it. And then went and said, so now you need to go on here and like all of the pictures of me, of him. And he went and liked about 15 pictures of himself through my Facebook account on the Hard Rock Cafe page. So I was like, great. Now I have some random strangers thinking I liked their stuff. It was not fun. And I was like, okay, give me my phone back. And then so we left, and then I was like, how am I gonna fix this? So I had to delete the picture and go through and unlike all those pictures, but I couldn't do it until like 5 hours later because I had to be on Wi-Fi to get on there. So it was not good, but it was a time, you know. It was a time. So I've been thinking about getting a tattoo for a long time, and I've been trying to decide. I was like trying to decide what exactly I wanted because I had a couple of things that I've been wanting for a while. And so I was like, what do I do? What do I want to get? Do I want to get one? So I kind of was waiting for it the entire 8 weeks I was there. I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo at the end. And so a week before the end, I was like, no, I can't do it. It's going to hurt. I don't want to do it. I'm scared. You know, I'm a wimp. I don't like pain. So I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then one of my friends was like, all right, well, I'm going to get one. And I was like, okay, have fun. And then so the Friday before I left, she messaged me and she was like, all right, I'm going to get my tattoo right now. And I was like, okay, I'll go with you. I'll get one. And so I decided to get one, and it was easy and great. It looks great. The guy hated me. My arm was shaking because I was nervous. And then the guy was like,
please be still.
And I was like,
I'm nervous.
and I was like, please. He was like,
Please be still, madam.
and I was like, I really can't. I'm nervous. And so my friend came over and she held my hand, and I was like, I'm not gonna cry. And it literally was like 10 minutes, and it wasn't even that bad. And I'm a baby, and I hate myself for that, but it's fine. And then after that, like, I couldn't sit still. I had so much adrenaline. I was like walking around, and he was like,
Ma'am, please sit down.
and I was like, I can't sit down. I need to walk around. But I ended up sitting down because he was doing another friend of mine's tattoo, and I didn't want to mess it up, you know, because he was yelling at me. My flight back from Greece was insane. So I went to Athens on the day that first of all, I'll start with getting to the airport. So I had a huge bag and a carry-on and a backpack. Both of my luggage bags were rolling suitcases, which was dumb because it's hard to roll two suitcases at the same time. I don't know if you've ever tried it. Don't. It's not fun. They hit your ankles, and they also run into each other. So, like, not fun. So I had to lug both of those plus a heavy backpack on my back to the airport. But to get to the airport, you had to take a metro. So I had to get on the metro with these huge bags and hope that nobody stole me or my bags, or hope that nobody hated me because I was taking up a spot that 8 people could be in. And I had to wait there for 45 minutes. So we got to the metro, and I didn't have a seat. So I had to sit on my suitcase for the 45-minute ride to the airport. Not fun. And it rolled around, so I almost fell a lot. Yeah, it was bad. So when we got to the airport, we got off, and I got there, and I was like, oh, look at my flight, man. And then I found it, and it was an hour delayed. And I was like,
Woohoo, great, super, woohoo, great. What am I gonna do for an hour?
I was like, whatever, I can eat, and we're just sitting, hang out in the airport. And then so I sat down, and I was like thinking about it, and I was like, an hour delayed, that kind of sucks. And then I was like, oh, wait, what do I do? Because my connecting flight I had a layover that was about 2 hours. It was like an hour and 45 minutes to be exact. And so now I'm an hour behind. So I was like, great, I'm going to have like 45 minutes, well, probably 30 minutes by the time I land to get from the terminal I land in to the one I need to be in and get on my flight to go home. And I was like, I'm going to miss it. I was freaking out the whole time. I boarded in Athens, and I literally freaked out the whole time, the whole flight, until I realized that there's a time change in France, and it was an hour earlier, and I was okay. but I was still kind of stressed out because that's me. I'm anxious. I'm stressed out all the time. So, even though I had that, extra hour because of the time change, I still, ran off the plane, and I, ran to the terminal that it said on my boarding pass, and I, ran up, and the guy was like, "Oh, ma'am, your flight's been changed to a different terminal." And I was like, "What?" And at this point, I really did have, 45 minutes to get to my, next flight. So I was, flipping out. I was like,
"Friggin' Fritz, get me on the plane!"
And so I ran to the new terminal, and I ran up, and the lady was like, "Oh," I was like,
"Is this going to DC? Please tell me I can get home. I need to get home now, please."
And then the lady was like, "Yeah, but we're it's a 15-minute delay." And I was like, "What?" I had 15 extra minutes. So I ran into the line because the line was already super long, and the lady in front of me was like, "Honey, I'll watch your suitcase. Go get some water. You look tired." And I was like, "I am tired. I'm going to go get some water." So I got a water bottle at the little, one of those stores, and it was €8. And I was like, "What the heck? Why is it so much?" And, well, that's airports for you. Anyway, and I look next to me, and the freaking airport has PlayStation 4 setups with games on it. There was 5 of them next to me, and I was like,
I wasted my time running around when I could have been playing the PS4 and playing some cool games that I don't have. I'm like, what? I hate myself, and I hate that I did that, but I just
waited in line and watched other people play PS4 while I waited to board my plane. It kind of sucked. But yeah, finally I got home, and I got out of the airport, and the first thing I did when I got into America was get Taco Bell because I've been wanting it for 2 months straight. So that was my time in Greece. I hope you enjoyed my story time. Sorry it was so long. I just had a lot to say, and I didn't want to break it up into so many videos because talking about one thing, it would be annoying. But thank you guys for watching. I post videos every Thursday, so next week I'm going to be doing a popsicle challenge with one of my friends, so be sure to like and subscribe to see that. It's going to be really funny and exciting, and there's going to be gross flavors like pickle juice, so, look out for that. Okay, bye guys.